So I thought one of the more interesting trades from the 2026 NBA deadline has to be Ivica Zubac to the Indiana Pacers. And I feel like I haven't had a time to sit around and maybe talk 10 minutes about this trade specifically because when this deal went down, I was actually on the Bleacher Report stream. And you know what's funny? I wanted to watch this back. Oh, you know what stinks? I think the stream went out when my reaction happened because I went. Oh man, I remember I was just like so shocked when this ended up going down and seeing the protection on it. So that's funny because I remember my jaw dropped because Jake, who was talking to me in 3-Cone during this, was like, we brought up the idea of the 26th pick, and I'm like, that's not how the Pacers operate. That they're a smart ran organization. No way they're trading that 2026 first. And then Jake goes, they are trading the 2026 first, and my jaw dropped, and I wanted to see my reaction there. But then you learn that it has protections on it. So the full details of Ivica Zubac and Kobe Brown going to the Pacers. You have Benedict Mathurin, who was a restricted free agent at the end of the year. Isaiah Jackson, who signed a 3-year deal with the Pacers in the offseason. 2026 first rounder, which we know is top 4 protected and 10 to 30 protected. So we're going to play around with the lottery sim and just kind of figure out. This is like basically we're in Vegas. Like the draft lottery is going to have so many implications, especially with this trade. So if the pick is 1 to 4 or 10 to 30, that means the Clippers are going to get an unprotected 2031 first, which could be more value, could be less value going forward. They're getting, no matter what, an unprotected 2029 first and a 2028 second rounder for Ivica Zubac, who's under a fantastic contract going forward for his style of play, his caliber of play, his value out there. He was on All-NBA third team last year, right? He was actually, no, I don't think he was on All-NBA third team, but I remember him being in that conversation. I know he ended up on all defensive second team. He finished 6th in DPOY voting. Yeah, he didn't get it, but there were so many injuries last year, and the same thing could happen this year where there were only so many players that could hit that 65 game threshold where they would actually get on an All-NBA team. And Zubac was incredible last year. He was one of the best defenders in the sport. The advanced metrics loved him. And you could see the Clippers defense take a massive hit when he was off the floor last year. But obviously last year, the Clippers defense was great. This kind of, maybe there was a precursor to this. We know that the Pacers were interested in Walker Kessler, Gafford, Yves Missi, Zubac, Jared Allen. They were calling everybody about a center upgrade. They were looking to get a center deal done in season rather than the offseason. So they get Zubac, who's 28 years old, who I just actually finished recording a pod with Tucker, and we talked about this trade, and I'm like, what's the injury? Zubac is healthy. He just, I believe, had a kid. I saw it on Twitter. I could be wrong. But if he did just have a kid, we're about to see the longest paternity leave in NBA history because they obviously want to tank in the second half. And we'll get to tanking and all that because that will have its kind of implications on this deal. So the Clippers, they don't completely tear it down because Derrick Jones Jr. is still on the roster. Chris Dunn's still on the roster. I'm surprised they didn't trade like Bogdan Bogdanovic in a second for like Colin Sexton or Anthony Simons, given how many guards the Bulls have. But for the Pacers, we'll talk about them first. I mean, you're getting in a close to elite center, right? Like when you're talking about the best centers in the NBA, you're talking about Jokic, Wemby, Embiid, Şengün. Then you got like your Cats, your Jalen Durans of the world. Going forward, Bam Adebayo, right? Zubac, I wouldn't say he's in that tier 1, or you could honestly say he's like in that Cat, Bam Adebayo tier. But if not, he's right below those guys. He's going to go from an elite playmaker in James Harden to an elite playmaker in Tyrese Halliburton. He's under a fantastic contract for a team that's been notoriously, lack of a better word, cheap. They don't like to pay the luxury tax. They have plenty of wiggle room right here. They have no tax bill, and that's what they wanted basically this year. They have financial wiggle room against the second apron. They have wiggle room against the tax. We'll see if the ownership will actually go into the tax going forward. I mean, their roster's kind of in place for next year in a way. Now that Benedict Mathurin is gone. Now, they would be inheriting maybe somebody making $12 million with the draft, and I would say their offseason's probably over, but they're going to sell Zubac as their big offseason move. They wanted somebody that was honestly cost-effective. Like, yes, Yves Missi's cheap, but Zubac is also a proven commodity. Zubac's 2025 season may be a season we never see from Yves Missi, so you're getting somebody that's played in big games, that's had the workload with an elite playmaking point guard in James Harden. 28 years old. He's about to turn 29, so he'll be 29 for most of next year's season, and they have him under a fantastic contract for 2028. So, yeah, his contract expires at the same time as Siakam. I have no idea what a 34-year-old Siakam's contract would look like, but they didn't have to throw in Obi Toppin. They were obviously not trading away TJ McConnell or Aaron Nesmith or Andrew Nembhard in this trade. I thought maybe Jarris Walker was going to be in this trade as well. Me and Cone were talking about that. He thought that Walker was going to be in the trade, and Ben Shepherd wasn't in the trade as well. They have a lot of centers. In a way, like they've rolled out Obi at the 5, Siakam at the 5 before. They still have Potter and Jay Huff on the roster right now. Isaiah Jackson was drafted back in 2021. He spent a decent amount of his career. Like, he had a major lower body, like, leg injury, and he's now a Clipper going forward. I mean, next year, you got to be thrilled about this roster in 2027, especially if you're able to get a top pick in the draft. Because imagine you have Halliburton at the 1, Nembhard at the 2, Aaron Nesmith at the 3, Siakam at the 4, and then you have Zubats at the 5 with potentially adding Cameron Boozer, AJ DeBanter, Darren Peterson. I also meant to ask this to you guys earlier. Let me know if I sound any different. I did just get a new mic. I hope it sounds different than my old one. If not, you can let me know, because 1, then I didn't really need to get a new mic, or 2, maybe I got to play around with the settings, because the quality should sound better, as it is a more expensive microphone at the end of the day. So would love for you to let me know that in the comments. I should have asked you guys that at the beginning of the video. But back to the Pacers, this team could be they could very well be the odds-on favorite to win it all next year. Now, I don't want to pencil them in as like a conference finals team. Halliburton is coming off probably the most gruesome injury that you can get, like tearing your Achilles. He's going to be out all of this year, so he's not going to play basketball. Like, he'll probably debut October of 2026. He's probably not going to play back-to-backs, maybe at all next year. So he debuts October 2026. He hasn't played since June of 2025. So it's going to be about a year and a half since he last touched a basketball court. It's not going to be surprising if Halliburton struggles at times in the start next year, because he's coming off a torn Achilles, and he likes to, honestly, He relies a ton on his quickness, fast decision-making, passing ability, moving up and down the floor. If he's just as fast, he's going to be just as fine. If he's maybe struggling to get back to like that athletic game speed, it might take him a little bit of time. But obviously, Halliburton kind of turned into like a top 10 player in the playoffs last year. You could say turned into a top 5 player in the league in the playoffs with his clutch gene going forward as well. So you have him. You still have Siakam in his prime. He's 31. 31 is not really that old in NBA terms anymore. Like, 36, 37 might be old, but we've seen guys have crazier longevity than ever before. So Siakam, McConnell, he'll be 34 next year. We'll see, but he should still be a good player. This is still a good team, but it's not going to be a cakewalk. I mean, it wasn't a cakewalk for them last year. Knicks took them to 6. I guess they really did take care of Cleveland and Milwaukee with no issues. I mean, who knows how that game 1 goes against the Knicks or game 2 against the Cavs, but the Pacers are going to be up there with the Knicks most likely, the Celtics, the Pistons, and if any other team in the Eastern Conference takes a leap next year, and the Cavs, sorry. So maybe like Toronto, Philly, Orlando. We'll see if one of these teams is better next year. The Charlotte Hornets, I might have to respect a ton now going forward, but this was a big move for them, and it's exciting. So as I'm going to talk about the Clipper side of things, I mean, we can kind of just see the draft odds here. So right now, they're currently the 3rd worst team in the league in what's going to be a generational tank off. Like, Adam Silver may eliminate pick protections, like not top 3, not lottery, after this tank off, because the Kings might actually win some meaningless games because they didn't really trade anybody outside of Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder. And you can make an argument they got better in that trade. So they kept like DeRozan and Levine and Sabonis. I would be shocked if they finished with the worst record. The Pelicans don't have a reason to tank because they don't own their first-round pick, so that could hurt New Orleans a little bit, but Indiana wants to keep their pick. Right now, it's like a 50-50 chance they keep it and they don't. So if they end up with the 3rd worst record, that 10-30, that's not going to happen as long as like everybody's not playing on a back-to-back, which is currently going on right now. But yeah, it's a 50-50 chance they keep their pick. We'll see if they're going to be more incentivized to win games or lose games in the second half. Brooklyn, they obviously don't own their first-round pick next year, so they kind of want to tank in the second half. Washington's pick is top 8 protected. They want to tank. Utah's pick is top 8 protected. They want to tank as well. Or is it top 8 protected? I mean, Dallas traded away Anthony Davis. Utah traded away Jaren Jackson Jr. Memphis traded away Jaren Jackson Jr. Utah traded for Jaren Jackson Jr., but their pick is protected. Milwaukee, they kind of want to tank in a way, so they can maximize their chances as like a top 8 pick next year. The Clippers might be bad in the second half, but they don't have a reason to tank either going forward. So we might see like a real tank off. Like, you simulate the lottery right here, Clippers can pick 5. Like, you're getting either Kingston Flemings, Caleb Wilson, Keenan Wagler, whoever goes outside of probably these 3, and Caleb Wilson at 4. You sim the lottery one more time, Pacers keep the pick. We'll simulate it 5 times. So we're 1 versus 1. Pacers have kept it 2 out of the 3. Clippers get the 5th pick here, and then the last time, the tiebreaker, they dropped 4 spots. Oh my God, that's insane. And yeah, they're ending up with Hans Steinbeck, who I don't think is going to go 7th overall. That's interesting, although they do need a big man. You take a chance on Benedict Mathurin, who, I mean, we just saw Cam Thomas get waived, so like these guys that haven't really been all-world defenders, passers, guys that can move well without the ball, maybe extremely coachable, it's tough for you to see these guys getting $30 million anymore unless they're hitting free agency at the right time on a bad team. So we'll see how Mathurin looks in Los Angeles. They obviously want to win games in the second half. You still have Kawhi Leonard, who didn't get traded, where after Harden and Zubats got traded, I was like, okay, maybe Kawhi will get traded, but now there's been some speculation that there could be an aspiration suspension or something like that, maybe in the second half after the All-Star game next year. Because maybe Adam Silver, like they said that there's going to be a resolution after the All-Star break, maybe because they didn't want to have any drama around the Clippers who are hosting the All-Star game as well, and they wouldn't feel like an ill will of hosting the game towards the rest of the NBA if our star player is getting suspended. So maybe that comes after the All-Star break. We'll see. And maybe that's why people didn't trade away for Kawhi. But maybe the Clippers want to just retool this roster around Kawhi, Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, maybe the 5th overall pick or something. And then you have Darius Garland as well going forward. I think people are pretty indifferent on the Clippers deadline. I mean, who knows? Like, it's really just going to determine the lottery, because if the Pacers keep their pick, we're not going to get we're going to get this first round pick and a 2031 first round pick for Zubats, and there's a good chance they're going to have Halliburton, Zubats, Siakam still then or close to it, and then potentially a Peterson, Boozer, or Debansis. So those picks might not be the greatest in the world. So it's kind of like a wait and see game for the Clippers. I'm interested to see how Mathurin looks for a team that's trying to win games, and he's going to have a higher workload. I'm waiting to see how this team's going to look when Garland's coming back. They just got back Derrick Jones Jr. Isaiah Jackson, Yannick Niederhauser, and Brook Lopez is kind of their center rotation right now, with maybe some small ball John Collins at the 5. It's just so fascinating that this trade here is going to have such major implications on draft lottery night, and I think that still makes it the most interesting trade we saw this year at the deadline because of the pick protection. I mean, I don't think they were ever throwing an unprotected first. Maybe they were going to throw a top 3. Them saying top 4 makes me think they think it's a top 4, or there's a 4-person draft here, and they think Caleb Wilson is a difference maker, or maybe they really love a Keaton Wagler or a Kingston Flemings, who's ever going to end up going there at number 4. So I would love to know what you guys think about this trade down below. I know I haven't really made a video on it, so I was like, I'll throw one on the SROS channel so I could talk about it for 10 plus minutes on this trade specifically. I'm probably going to do like a Vita Zubats Pacers rebuild, so you could be on the lookout for that one. I'm also ranking every single NBA team post-trade deadline. That could be out, probably not out yet on my SROS channel, but that will be out today. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a thumbs up if you guys did enjoy. If you were in the stream yesterday, in the Bleacher Report stream, like, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I actually watched back like some of the chat, and you guys were commenting as well. I don't know if I could pull it up here. Like the live chat real quick. Can I do this? Maybe not in the screen specifically, but I was going through like the live chat replay on YouTube, and I was able to see some of you guys like commenting Matt's like joking comments too. It's like, Matt, let me borrow his like Lamborghini, like those memes. Honestly, it's very funny to see people that were in the chat that I couldn't really see during the stream too much, but I was watching it back, and thank you guys a lot for the support there. It was really fun to do, and it was a fun trade deadline. A lot of content to make from it. Over 60 guys got traded. Mark Stein either said 65 or 67, and I said 67 in my SROS video, but I'm like, what are the odds it's actually 67? I don't know, but it's close to that number. It was a crazy deadline. It's going to be a crazy second half with playoff pushes, tanking, and we're really going to figure out like guys coming out of the buyout market as well, and figure out who's contenders, who's pretenders. So a lot of content like that coming out too soon. Hope you guys did enjoy. Catch you on the next one. Peace.